the Supreme Court acted, literally in the middle of the night, without sufficient explanation in blocking the Trump administration from deporting Venezuelans held in northern Texas under an 18th-century wartime law. Justice Samuel Alito, joined by Justice Clarence Thomas, expressed strong dissent, criticizing the 7-member majority for their decision. Alito argued that there was dubious factual support for granting the emergency appeal from the American Civil Liberties Union. The group claimed that immigration authorities seemed to be moving to restart removals under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The majority did not provide a detailed explanation in their early Saturday order, but the court had previously stated that deportations could only proceed after those facing removal had a chance to argue their case in court and were given a reasonable time to contest their pending removals. Alito emphasized that both the executive and the judiciary have an obligation to follow the law. The justice's brief order directed the administration not to remove Venezuelans held in the Bluebonnet Detention Center until further order of this court. Alito described this relief as unprecedented and hastily and prematurely granted. He noted that it was unclear whether the Supreme Court had jurisdiction at this stage of the case, as not all legal avenues had been explored in lower courts, and the justices had not heard the government's side. Alito pointed out that the only documents before the court were those submitted by the applicants, and there was no response from the government regarding either the applicants' factual allegations or any legal issues presented by the application. Furthermore, the court did not have the benefit of the government response filed in any lower courts. Alito stated that the legal filings, while alleging imminent danger of removal, provided little concrete support for that claim. He mentioned that although the court did not hear directly from the government about any planned deportations under the Alien Enemies Act in this case, a government lawyer in a different matter had informed a U.S. District Court on Friday evening that no such deportations were planned for either Friday or Saturday. In summary, Alito criticized the court for issuing unprecedented and legally questionable relief without allowing lower courts to rule, without hearing from the opposing party, and within 8 hours of receiving the application. He believed there was no good reason to think that issuing an order at midnight was necessary or appropriate. The administration has filed paperwork urging the High Court to reconsider its hold. On Friday, 2 federal judges refused to intervene as lawyers for the men launched a desperate legal campaign to prevent their deportation. Early Saturday, the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals also refused to issue an order protecting the detainees from deportation. The ACLU had already sued to block deportations of 2 Venezuelans held in the Bluebonnet facility and sought an order barring removals of any immigrants in the region under the Alien Enemies Act. In their emergency filing early Friday, the ACLU warned that immigration authorities were accusing other Venezuelan men held there of being members of the Tren de Aragua gang, making them subject to Trump's use of the law. The Alien Enemies Act has only been invoked 3 previous times in U.S. history, most recently during World War II to hold Japanese-American civilians in internment camps. The administration contends it gives them power to swiftly remove immigrants identified as gang members, regardless of their immigration status. Following the unanimous High Court order on April 9, federal judges in Colorado, New York, and southern Texas promptly issued orders barring removal of detainees under the law until the administration provides a process for them to make claims in court. However, no such order was issued in Texas covering Bluebonnet, located 24 miles north of Abilene. Some Venezuelans subject to Trump's use of the law have been sent to El Salvador and housed in its notorious main prison.